Well, welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast where connections matter. I am Charles McKay, aka Charlie the Plug, bringing you interviews of what I call Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. Thank you for those who are joining us live. I definitely appreciate that. If you're watching us live on our YouTube channel at the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, on our LinkedIn page at Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, and also our Facebook channel at the Detroit Metro Plug Podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Monday to everyone. We are approaching the end of October. People are celebrating Harvest Festival, also Halloween, if you're into that. So we are definitely in the midst of fall. The leaves are falling, changing colors. The weather's getting a little nippy. You got to bring a little extra jacket, sweater. But hopefully everybody's doing well. And thank you again for joining this podcast, episode 95. Great guest, interesting topic we're going to talk about. For those who are interested, people are a lot of people are transitioning to what is known as natural hair, whether it's locks. Some people refer to it as dreadlocks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how do you build a brand around beauty and health and hair. And we have a very special guest, expert in her field, that's going to share a little about her journey, her business, and the things she's doing and the positive contributions she has here in the city of Detroit. So welcome again. If you're watching live, if you have a question for our guests, certainly you can put a comment in the chat. If you just want to give a shout out or make a comment, I'll try to get to that, but definitely. And do me a favor. If you find value in what we're doing, we're one of the shows that's about positivity, sharing about what's going on here in the city of Detroit. And if you are supportive of that, I definitely want to encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash that like button, smash that notification button. If you're on Facebook, please like and share. And if you are a supporter, share with your friends about what we're doing here at the Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, where connections matter, where we celebrate the contributions of Detroiters in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement. Now, before I get into our guests, I do have a question to ask everyone. You guys can probably hear me, but my microphone is a little bit further away. All right, so I have a question to ask everyone on this Monday evening. Have you ever thought about how you can be considered a hero or contribute to the community in a positive way? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can join me and be a part of Black Leaders Detroit. I am a member as well as an ambassador. And for those who are wondering, what is Black Leaders Detroit? It is an organization. It's a funding vehicle that is about equity, inclusion, and opportunity. Equity, inclusion, and opportunity. And it's just $1 a week, $4 a month, $52 a year. And this fund vehicle helps to support Black-led nonprofits with grants, also Black businesses with grants, as well as no interest loans. And so this is a great opportunity for you to be a part of this. And you don't have to be, it's open to anybody. If you're an ally, you don't have to be African-American to be a part. You could be an ally and support what's going on. They've given over, last year was over $1 million. I think I've heard now $2 million in resources, no interest loans. So I want to encourage you to become a member. Here's a short video clip that talks about a little bit about what they've been doing in the community.
Black Leaders Detroit, they knew that during the pandemic, that Black businesses were going to be left out of any type of funding that the government gave, and they wanted to make sure that they were able to figure out how they could step up and help, because again, this is their community, and they want to make sure that their community is still here when this pandemic is over with. And the only way you can do that is by offering support to your community, and so they stepped up and they did that.
I've been telling everyone I know about Black Leaders Detroit. The things that they're doing is simply amazing. And they're taking care of business for the Black business owners.
It's $1 a week donation to keep this great thing moving. $1 a week keeps it popping. Black Leaders Detroit.
All right. $1 a week keeps this great thing moving. $1 a week keeps it popping. Go to blackleadersdetroit.org, become a member today, and support the movement. And you can join me. You can be the face of a hero. Also, if you're a business owner and you're looking for resources, I believe they have their program going on with their no interest loans. That's right, no interest loans, small business loans that can help you with your business. So, all right, so that's that. Now, let's get into our show for today. So welcome again for episode 95, Loctician World, the real secrets of building a natural hair brand. Again, those who are joining us live, I see the eyeballs out there. So if you have a question or comment, you can put it in the chat. I'll try to get to it. If you want to ask our guests a question. So I want to do a formal introduction. For those who don't know, our next guest for episode 95 is the CEO of Alotta Locs brand, which is which she's an expert and professional loctician, natural hair author, mentor, and podcaster, just like me. She is a native Michigan Detroiter, raised on the east side of Detroit. Shout out to the east side. She always had dreams of giving back to the community and aspiring to become a successful business owner. Despite facing struggles and setbacks during her upbringing, she has crafted her own narrative for Black excellence. Our next guest is a mother of 3 beautiful daughters, and she has a husband. She's married, 14 years, and a successful serial business owner. Our next guest continued her business pursuits by running a successful 6-figure business where she developed jobs for Black women seeking alternative careers in the hair industry, a virtual learning platform just for locticians, educating training tools for lock care, and participating in several highly competitive business incubators, including Cornell 2019, Techtown Detroit Retail Bootcamp 2022. Shout out to Techtown. I'm a Techtown grad as well. Goldman Sachs Black Business 2023. So her main company right here, Alotta Locs, what we're going to talk about today, was established in 2015. The brand specializes in lock care, educating clients on how to embrace and care for their natural hair. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to episode 95, Kathy H. English. All right, I'm going to show a quick video of a little bit about what you do, and we'll go to allow people to allow you to introduce yourself even more.
Hey y'all. So as we know, when the seasons change, so does our hair. The way that it feels, the dryness. Sometimes we have the snowflakes on the shoulders. So just make sure as the seasons change that you are adding more moisture to your hair so that you don't have crunchy locks.
All right. So welcome to episode 95. That was a little clip from off some of your social media. People get an idea of some of the stuff you do. So if someone was to ask, who is Kathy English or Cat English, as you have on your title, what would you tell our audience?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, Charles, thank you so much for inviting me to the podcast. Um, uh, I would say, oh, it's so much with that. It's not one word that can go to describe that. It is so much more than just that. Um, but I love what I do. Um, I've been doing it for a long time, and I don't want to retire because I love doing it so much. I love giving back. It's just a full round circle of giving, and it's that's just what it is, and I love it.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's awesome. What I want to do is give people a chance to hear your story. So the backstory. So you are a native Detroiter on the east side. Um, so tell our audience, how did you get into did you start out in the having interest in being in the beauty industry, hair, a cosmetology, going to cosmetology, or how did that all come about?
Well, it all originated from my roots. So my grandmother did hair, my aunts and uncles did hair, my cousins. So the kitchen was like the kitchen salon. That's where it originated from. So everybody in my family did hair. That's what we did. So as I was growing up, I did my sister's hair, I did my cousin's hair, and then it transitioned to our house was like that spot where you come get your hair done in the basement. So I never considered taking hair on as a career. It was always my side hustle. Growing up, you had to just figure things out. So if you wanted more money, if you wanted, if you just wanted more of the better things in life, you had to have that hustle mentality in you. So growing up, that was my side hustle. So I went to school, got degrees, had my family, and I was still doing hair on the side. So um, as hair took off, I wanted to do more with that. So as far as that looking like, how can I better take care of my hair so that it can grow? Because there was a era in time where a lot of the women in the Black community were getting addicted to the creamy crack, which is the perm processors and things like that, and doing the weaves and braids and things like that. So for me, I wanted to see my hair. I didn't want to be bald at 30. And I wanted long, healthy, growing hair. So with that, I did my research and decided to do the big chop, let my hair grow out naturally, and try to figure out how to maintain that so that I can teach others. So in that, I decided to just go 100% natural. Um, and I wanted something more. So I researched Locs, and Locs was a good fit for me. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, well, what are those and how do I maintain those? And, like, how can I get involved with this movement? Because back then, this was like the early 2000s. The hair world was transitioning. So locks wasn't that popular at the time. So at the time where I was interested in doing it, I was still working corporate. I still was doing hair part time on the
Mhm.
side. So when locks took off for me, I invested in myself. I took additional trainings. I did classes, invested in myself to learn more about this skill so that I can better take care of my hair. So um, in 2015, I took the Sister Lock training and decided this was going to be the look for me. So I convinced my husband and my family that I was going to go take the training and this was going to be my job because it was something that was therapeutic for me. It was also something that I love to do. And you can also make money in this. And as I said, this became my full time job. I started making more money than what I was working and making in corporate. So I dabbled in it, loved it. It took off, and just getting to know my clientele that started to build up, getting to know people's stories and understanding why they were making a transition to care for their hair and go natural. It was just very moving and very empowering for me. So, with that, after getting the training and learning how to take care of my hair, I decided to pour into others so that they can learn how to take care of their hair as well. So, with that, I decided to do trainings and classes, and then I started mentoring more Black women on how they can use this platform to create new jobs for themselves, to take care of their families, feed their families, travel, do all the things that you want and love what you do. A lot of people today that work the 9 to 5, they are tired, they are exhausted, they hate their bosses. Who goes to work and loves what they do in a corporate setting? Not really nobody. But people who love what they do and they turn that passion into their own career and they love it, they just keep going and going and going and going. And with me, that was the case. I just kept going and pouring into people. My clients are like my family. I love them. I have clients that come see me from all over the world. And my passion is to teach my clients and people in the community how to care for their hair. So, levels on as being a client, how to take care and maintain your hair, levels for my mentees on how to care for their clients' hair and how to get that educational training so that they can build their clients up so that they can gain more clientele and so that they can keep providing this service so that more clients can come and they can also spread the word on how to take care of your hair. So it's like the seed that was planted and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So everything in me that I have learned, I have planted those seeds into the community, into people I have met in person and virtually, and they are taking those skills and all of that education and they are helping others to learn how to embrace their own natural hair. So with all of that said, I love what I do.
Awesome. Well, so you kind of gave a synopsis, and I want to go back if you don't mind. So you grew
Okay.
up in a family of people doing hair, and at your house, it was a basement set up like a little makeshift salon, or
And no, so actually my grandmother's home was a nice full 3-story home. And with it being so many people in the house,
hmm
we all got our hair done like on Sunday night. It was like an assembly line. You
oh,
line up, you get your hair washed, and then on the other side, you get your hair blow dried, and then at the end of the line, my uncle was doing the pressing and
oh,
curling.
press and curl.
So yes, so we all were. This was the thing. We all were learning how to care for our hair. So
Okay,
everyone in the family did hair till this day. We still do hair.
okay, okay.
So with
Now,
that being, oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, no.
So with
So no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
okay.
That's okay.
So with those roots being instilled in me, I that's just been something I revert back to.
hmm All right, all right. So you grew up in a culture of self-care, caring for your hair in a natural way, with your family at grandma house or big mama's house, as some people would say. Now, but you went a different path. So you went off to college and you wanted to do something else. What field was that?
So I went to Wayne State and got a
Shout out Wayne
degree at
State.
Wayne State.
I went to Wayne State too. Shout out to Wayne State.
Yes, I got a bachelor's of science. Got a
Oh,
bachelor's of science, and then did work in the community with public health, specifically with
did you want to be a
building.
doctor or a nurse or something? Or
I wanted to do nursing, public health nursing,
oh, okay, okay,
and it didn't go that route for me, but that's
okay.
okay. So the Lord saw fit for me to be a pillar of my community with providing natural hair care services, and it just took off.
So, with the bachelor's in science from Wayne State, you went to work for like a nonprofit or a corporate job or something like that.
I did several nonprofits. I
Okay.
did nonprofit work through Wayne State's Healthy Community Program.
Okay.
I also did work with Beaumont.
Okay. And the reason why I want to bring this up because people are watching. People may have, most people are raised to, go to school, stay out of trouble, get a job, but they may have a dream or a passion about something, and there's always time to work on your passion as you're working your job until your passion and your side hustle becomes an opportunity for you to transition. So it sounds like that's what happened to you.
Yes, there was a transition for sure. I would say more like a pivot. So when I was working the corporate job through Beaumont, my department was starting to shut down. This was before COVID.
Mhm.
And with that, I just pivoted to what I know best, and that's natural hair care.
Now, I want to get in specifics if you don't mind, because
Okay.
everybody may not know what Locs or the whole process is. We may assume, it is kind of popular now, within hip hop culture and stuff like that. But for those who may not know, um, you mentioned it in kind of your introduction. So there was a time where particularly ladies and sometimes men would get what they call a relaxer or a perm or something like that. And but then it seems like now it's transitioning. So when did that transitioning, and what's some people are trying to ban actually trying to ban the relaxers because it seemed like it did a lot of damage to black, particularly women of color, their hair.
Yes. For me, I started to see the transition early 2000s. A lot of Black women I know, and I will speak for as far as like my experience. I went from the relaxers because that's how I was raised.
Mhm.
I started early with getting perms,
Oh, you did?
because
Okay.
I did. So because that was the thing in the
Mhm.
culture, to straighten your hair, because if your hair was nappy, it wasn't good hair. So
Right,
in
right.
order for you to be presentable and accepted, your hair had to be straightened. So for me, I didn't like that as I was getting older and understanding that uh, perms are highly processive,
Mhm.
meaning that the chemicals that's created to provide the relaxer are very damaging to our scalp and our bodies because the things that are in these products are also being embedded in our bloodstream. And a
Mhm.
lot of those chemicals did damage as far as causing hair and scalp issues with people where they are getting hair loss, hair thinning, and getting really sick. So that's why, in brief, that's why a lot of people are trying to ban or just be done with the creamy crack and the perm, so to say. And also with that, your hair doesn't grow. Your hair just thins out, and the more that you use it, your hair gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Some people still use it, today, but again, it's not a healthy option if you are trying to grow your hair out.
Okay. All right. Now it's interesting. You said some people are still using the relaxer perm, or you call it, what did you call it? Creamy crack?
The creamy crack
I
because
thought
it's
I thought by now
addictive.
everybody just got woke on that and just moved away from that. But you're saying people still want their
There's
hair to be
still
straightened up like that?
Yeah, there are still small percentages of people in the community who still use it, and it's not no hate or
Right.
shade against people who still use it. If that's what you do, that's your lifestyle, that's on you.
Right.
But
Right.
for me, I want to see my hair grow and flourish, and I want to have hair as long as I can. So
Okay.
with that, growing your hair naturally, it lasts longer. Over time, your hair gets thicker. And for me, this is the longest my hair has ever grown out in its natural state. So
Wow.
these are my locks and my hair, because it's twisted up now, but
Right.
as far as like length, it's about at my tailbone.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
blessing. All right.
So black hair does grow. Black
Yeah.
hair is healthy. Black hair is good hair.
Black hair is healthy. Black hair is good hair. Now, I want because I know very little about the whole process of natural hair or locking. Explain how that process for people who want to venture off, taking a step further in their natural hair journey.
So most of the time when people come in, they're ready to make the transition. That's what we call it when you're going from a straight state and you want to go to a natural state, depending on the texture of your hair. So we have hair has multiple textures. So you may have 4C, 4A, 4B, and that just identifies the straightness or the curly or the kinkiness of your hair texture.
Oh.
Each one of us has different hair texture. Your hair texture is like your DNA. So
How
it's
do you find
different
out
with
your hair?
everybody.
How do you find out which, like you said, 4C, 4B, 4A? How do you know? Is it like in your birth certificate? How do you find out your hair texture? Like I
Uh,
don't know. Like my hair grows back quick. I guess when it gets long, it gets curly. So what am I? What four am I?
you
You probably.
probably be like a 4BC.
Oh really? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
All right.
there's training involved with that to better give you more details on how to identify hair texture. So when people come in, they get consultations, and I listen to the stories on, why they want to make this transition. What is their lifestyle? Are they comfortable with making this transition because this is something new? And as they are getting ready to prepare for the transition, which is the lock cultivation, there are a variety of different types of locks people can get installed. So, for instance, if you are just looking for a nice grown look, let's say you wanted to start your lock journey, I will have you just come in, look at your hair. If you're looking for something simple, then we will discuss different types of lock styles that will be in your budget for you and that will be good for what you are looking for. Um, with women and children, it varies because with locks being very popular now, a lot of people are going for what they can afford. So natural hair care is expensive. However, it is a natural alternative for you to best take care of your hair. So with the lock cultivation, what that looks like is you can either get sister locks, you can get traditional locks, you can get micro twists, or you can just get some starter locks put in. And those are the different methods and techniques used to get your locks cultivated. Cultivation is the starting process of when you get locks. So I hope I didn't say too much because
No.
it gets deeper.
No. Okay. And again, like I never had locks. I see people who have different styles of locks. So I'm assuming, is there certain oils? Is there certain tools you use to help shape them, or is just a kind of a yeah? How does it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm asking the right question. Like, how does
Yes,
that?
you are. You are. So it just depends. So, like, if you look at this poster behind me, I have a variety of people who've gotten different types of locks. So, this
Mm-hmm.
client here, she has traditional locks, and the cultivation for that is just using the technique of using finger coils, or you can do the comb coil method to start
Oh,
those locks. Um, I use very little product, so it would be like something simple as either oil and water or a locking gel.
a
And
locking gel. Okay.
yep, and the upkeep with that would be you just washing your hair, not detangling your hair, not using a detangling conditioner, just simply shampooing your hair, conditioning it, not combing it out, and just coming to your appointment every 3 to 4 weeks to get touched up. And that's just me retwisting the hair at the root. Now, if you are getting more of a more neat look, such as your micro twist or sister locks, that gets a little bit more in depth. However, the cultivation for starting that process is using lock tools, such as
Mhm.
a hook tool. Well, Sister Lock is a trademark brand. Let me start there. And they have trademark tools and things such as like that to we follow Yes, so we follow a system. There's a sister lock system, and with that, there is a grid.
Hmm.
Not everybody can provide this service for people. You have to be sister lock trained
Hmm.
to be able to provide the service to clients who are seeking that service. Once you are sister lock trained, you can provide the service, and there are things, additional things you have to go through, and you have to get experience to be able to provide sufficient services. But I'm not going to get into that too deep. Um, so with that, with the lock cultivation, depending on the type of locks you want, whether your locks are being retwisted or interlocked at the root, there are different types of tools you can use to keep your locks maintained. So you have hook tools, you have the nappy locks tool, you have the DMS tool.
Wow.
There are so many different lock tools you can use to provide these services for your clients to help their locks stay well maintained and groomed. Um, I am very versed in using lock tools and providing different services for my clients. So, with that, not only doing the maintenance part with that, some people grow their locks out and they cut them off and get them reattached. That's also a thing
Wow.
you can get done. I do lock reattachment. Some people get
Wow.
lock extensions put on if they don't want to go through the whole
Yeah.
um, growth process with locks, as far as like going through the what they say the ugly stage. And
Oh,
that's when the
wow.
hair is transitioning and it's like really, really fuzzy. And then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like a flower, it just blooms and it grows out and then it gets longer over time.
Wow.
So
Wow.
a lot of people don't want to go through those different phases, so they get lock extensions, and there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think whatever you do that works for you, that's all that matters.
Okay.
Locks are very beautiful. They come in different sizes. A lot of people are now getting more um, creative with it. So
Yeah.
instead of your squares, they're doing C parts and diamond shaped parts and
Yeah. I
things
see
like
all
that.
kinds. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and it's amazing. You know, locks are
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
evolving all over the world.
Wow, man, that brought up several questions. Um, I just want to use an example. So I saw, maybe the world saw, Jay-Z for most of his hip hop career, wore basic, like, well, how I wear my hair, shortcut, fade, whatever. Then he went through the whole, the whole process. So how would you define his locks right now? Because he got like one main thing. I think it's only about three or four. It looks like. I don't. How would you
So
define his
that
locks? That's a good
I
example.
would define Jay-Z locks as freeform locks.
Free form.
Freeform
Okay.
locks are a type of lock where it's no maintenance.
No
You
maintenance.
just wash your, it's like a wash and go. You wash and go every day, and if you want to have one lock sticking up and one sticking down, or you want to wear it a certain way, like Cam Newton, you just wash and go. And it just depends on that person and your lifestyle. You know, some people, so Jay-Z, you know, depending on his lifestyle, this is the look that's best for him. I don't provide that service.
You should have, but does the wash and go? Do they have to have a loctician, or
No,
they just kind of just let it free? You said free flow,
free form.
free form. Yeah.
Free form locks, yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, that's that's their that's their taste.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's the free form locks, and then you talked about the tools and the lock gel. I showed that slide. So you talked about the transition stage, the fuzzy stage. How long is it? It's like a couple of months when you just kind of growing a fro until it locks up, or how long does that normally take?
So it just depends on going back to hair texture. If you have a more kinkier hair texture,
Hmm.
your hair will lock up instantly. So if you get locks put in, it may take about 3 to 6 months for your hair to lock up. If you have a more softer hair texture, it may take, and it depends on the lock type too. So if you are a person that has soft, coily hair, it may take about a few years.
Ooh,
Someone
wow.
like me who
Wow.
has smaller locks,
Mm-hmm.
it takes years. I
Mm,
have 4C hair, however, I have smaller locks. So
mm-hmm.
it is a process. It takes years.
Years.
Years. It can take up to
Oh,
years for your hair to lock because when the hair it's a whole process, Charles. when the
wow.
hair is going through a when the hair is transitioning and going through the locking process, it forms inside out. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that after the locks have been installed and you are getting the maintenance done and you're that is a repetitive thing, you're being consistent with that. The work starts within the lock. So that means that the hair is starting to attach, all of your hair follicles are coming together, and it's like growing together. So as the hair is growing out of the hair root, the shaft, all of that stuff is coming together, is growing out together, and is cultivating into one, this solid piece. So with that strong foundation coming from the root out of the scalp is growing and it's coming solid together. So that's why the locks are shaped the way that they are,
Mm-hmm.
because it's coming out together. So if you think about the plants and you think about the bottom, the roots, that's your
Mm-hmm.
foundation. So as the hair sprouts up and grows out, and you're constantly getting that maintenance done, it's growing out naturally the way that it should in lock form.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. And it could take years. Because I don't know. Maybe people are getting extensions and stuff. I thought I
Mm-hmm.
saw people maybe in a few months they had their hair natural and then it looked like it was starting to lock up and then all of a sudden they had longer hair. I don't know if maybe they were getting extensions
Yeah.
or maybe
And
they
some people have shrinkage. If you grow your hair out in a fro and you're not really doing much with it, there's a lot of stretch with that, and
mm-hmm,
that stretch is called pliability.
mm-hmm,
So like when the hair is springy and is coily and things like that, that's a lot of hair,
mm,
millions and millions and millions of hair follicles.
yeah.
So yeah, someone can have a whole lot of hair. So I would say the more coarse the hair is, the thicker the hair is, the
More.
more stronger the lock. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great, great, great. All right. So how did you develop your skill with the tools? Were you self-taught? Were you an apprentice or something? You went on YouTube or something? How did you learn how to you seem like you have extensive knowledge with being an expert loctician. What was your journey with that?
Thank you. So my journey with it is I did my research to figure out where I wanted my niche to be as
Mm-hmm.
far as what I wanted to do with that. I did get extensive training. I did have a mentor, many mentors. I read books. I'm still reading books.
Mm-hmm.
Having experience with working with different people and different hair types. So I would say a vast amount of knowledge is how I gained my skill. And the majority of it is self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, that goes back to you having a passion. If this is something that you really want to do, you push yourself and you keep doing it and you take the time to learn more about the craft. So I call myself a lot creative
Mm-hmm.
because that's my creation. These people are coming to me to create something that's different from everyone else. So the services I provide, what I do for one person is not going to be identical to the other, even though they have the same lock service as far as if it's micro twist or sister locks, but it's going to be different for every person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you said some key things for our audience, those who are watching, about in terms of building your business and building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you said that you took upon yourself, you were intentional in learning. You said you still read books. Some of it was self-taught. You saw it mentors, and you're constantly learning. So I think those deserve some air horns. Those are some key points for those who are watching. So so you're self-taught. You went on this journey. You got mentors. You it sounds like you've become an expert on the different grades of hair. Now, I want to ask. I don't know. I want to make an assumption that being a loctician is not necessarily regulated, is it? Or is it? You know how like you have estheticians, cosmetology, but is this a regulated industry?
So when you say regulated, can you
Like,
give?
you have to get like a license and get past board exams, or how is that? I'm curious about
Well,
that.
depending on what state you're in. So for the state of Michigan, you don't have to have a license. However, in my expert opinion, I feel that you should get more training, because anybody can say they do locks,
Mm-hmm.
but the proof is in the pudding. So if your work doesn't speak for itself and you're putting crappy work out there
Yeah.
and you say that you're a loctician, nobody isn't gonna, want that service. So in order for you to be great at your craft, you have to invest in yourself. So if that means doing a research, if that means linking up with another expert or a professional, some people have cosmetology backgrounds, and some people also get other types of licenses to have a foundation so
Okay.
that they can better understand on a deeper scope on how to take care of issues that they may arise. So, for instance, you may get a client that has hair and scalp issues such as dermatitis.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who comes in off the street saying they do locks or went to YouTube Academy, they're not going to really understand that. But if you have that foundation, you would be able to better identify how to care for this person differently. You will be able to identify what type of services you can provide to them.
Okay.
And you will be able to better point them in a different direction on how to move further with being able to get that service. So there are things under the scope of loctician that you can do. However, we are not medical providers. We are not doctors. So if I know I'm not a miracle worker, because a lot of people think I can make their hair grow overnight. So when I get people that have deeper issues that are above my pay grade, because I stay in my lane, I do refer them to trichologists and
Mm-hmm.
also dermatologists that can better service their needs when it comes to deeper skin and hair issues with the scalp.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so by contrast, so somebody who wants to be a barber, they have to go to barber school. Somebody who wants to do cosmetology, they have to go to cosmetology school and then pass some type of board exam. But for a loctician, that's not necessarily. But to be kind of to be established or certified, you definitely got to have put a body of work. And but you mentioned that there's some training. Is that something you offer, or how do people get if they're interested in learning? Is there like a class you take, or is there certifications available?
Well, I'm just going to back up and say I feel that if this is going to be something for you that you're going to take serious and be consistent in, yes, you should invest in getting additional learning and additional training so that you have that solid foundation. Um, but as far as like moving forward with this being like your platform and things like that, and this is something that you want to give more into the community on. You can do so much more with that. So for me, yes, I've done all of that so that when I'm seeing these clients, I know what I'm talking about. I can show you what I'm talking about and be able to execute that. So it's like the memes that you see, what they ask for versus what they got. You're going to
Okay.
get just that. Plus, you're going to get educational knowledge. You're going to also get tips and additional things to help you along the way with your journey. And as you come back to see me, I'm going to help you solidify those goals you are seeking with your hair. So for me, yes, I do all of the above. I do provide trainings. So I provide a training for clients who want to later in their journey, once their locks are mature. Let me say that. Once your locks are mature, yes, I have classes where I show you how to maintain your own hair, whether it be retwisting, which is a method to maintaining your hair, or if you want to retighten your own hair, and that's for on all levels, whether it be traditional locks, micro twists, or sister locks. Um,
Yeah.
and I do teach classes virtually on the Thinkific platform, and this is a virtual class for people who want to learn the foundation educational necessities to how to become a loctician. That is available on my website. I also have PDFs and books available for ongoing maintenance on how to care for your locks. And I also have a book available on Amazon, Intro to Starter Locks, the Beginner's Guide. And it teaches basically the essential foundation of locks. So that's lock cultivation, the culture of locks, where locks originated from, how people started to evolve with wearing locks from Africa all the way to America and what that looks like, and understanding what the foundation is to locks and sanitization, how to clean your lock tools, and understanding the importance of the hair shaft, how the hair grows. It gets very in detail with locks and natural hair care. So yes, you have to be very versed, you have to be very educated, and you have to know your stuff when you are providing services for clients, especially when people are paying you and come to see you to provide the service. So I also offer mentorship.
Hmm.
I have mentees around the world
Hmm.
who reach out to me and I stay in contact with. So it is, I do a lot with this brand. I love it.
Right.
That's why I said earlier with the question you asked, is so many moving parts with that, but I love it all.
Now, all right. So it's not technically, you don't have to get like a state board exam. It's not regulated like that, but it's definitely encouraged. Yeah, you're encouraged to have a mentor, self-educate, constantly learn and invest in your craft.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's interesting because you touched a little bit about that, and I was curious. You mentioned that going this route can be costly. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's very fair to say.
Now, what is
Natural
it?
hair.
Yeah, yeah. How often, and I'm just using. I don't have locks, but I go to the barber about. I probably should go every week, but I go twice a month or every other week. And now you can spend, anywhere from $40 to $60, depending on where you go, what kind of work you get done. So for locks, for a guy or a lady, um, what's the average cost?
Oh, it depends on the loctician.
Hmm.
It depends on the loctician. So let's just say in Detroit for a certified loctician,
Hmm.
um, who is an expert in the field, for children to get locks installed, it can cost you as much as $300 for youth. For
Per
men
session?
and women, excuse me,
Per session, or is that
for the install. So that's
per
when you get the
install?
locks. Yeah,
Okay.
when you get the locks in. As far as maintenance, that could be $50 or $60 for
Okay,
youth.
gotcha. Right.
For men and women, it gets tricky because it just depends on the type of lock services you're looking for. So at minimum, getting, let's say for instance, traditional locks installed, maybe about $200-300, and then for maintenance every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe about a minimum rate of 65 to $85.
Hmm.
Max maybe about up to $200. And
Okay.
it goes up from there. So it just depends. And
Hmm.
then the smaller locks are the more expensive they are.
That's the sister locks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
So
micro. What is the
sister locks,
microblading or sister locks? Or
yes. So the sister locks are a trademark brand that are very small. Um, and they could be as high as $2,000 to get installed.
ooh, wow.
Yes, and maintenance can be between 125 to 185 every 4 to 6 weeks.
Hmm. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that gives a picture. Um,
Yes. And then you got, your products
the product.
and your specialty services. So if
Yeah.
you're getting a lock detox, that could be, pricey. If you are getting steam treatments done, lock styling, so it just varies. Those things add up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
All right. So I want to get into, for a second of our time, just kind of the tips or secrets you can share or you mind sharing for those who are they're going to watch the replay. They may be watching live now. Shout out to those who are watching us live. We got quite a few. And if you're watching live, you have a question for uh, Mrs. English, the expert loctician. If you have a question, please put it in the comments. And definitely like and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on and share with others. So I want to get into like tips or secrets that you've learned and how to build a natural hair brand. What can you share with those who are on the path just like you?
Network, network, network.
Network. Okay.
You have to network and you have to get out here to get your brand on the map. You can't be shy and timid about your business. You have to get out there. You have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be the moving force and the motivation behind your brand.
Okay.
So in order to grow your brand, you have to network.
Okay. Network. And let's get specific. And what services do you provide? I have a slide here. So you talked a little about your book, and this is your website. So for those who they're watching this video, they're interested in learning how to build their brand. They're on a journey of becoming a loctician. What services do you provide to help them on their journey?
I do. Well, I have a in-person apprenticeship program.
Mhm.
So if you are interested in learning how to do locks and you want to understand more what that looks like, I do provide that service. It's available. The starting rate for apprenticeship program is $400. And with that, you will get all of the training tools. You will also get all of the necessities. We will talk about setting up your LLC. We will talk about all of the important documents you need to get your business identified and registered as a business. And then I also help people with getting set up. And that can look like taking care of money transactions from your clients, making sure that you have a liable source for booking, understanding what it means to know what your revenue is. So we talk about business and we also talk about providing services to the client, understanding what client etiquette is and understanding what it means to be a professional.
Okay. All right. And also, you have a book, Intro to Starter Locks. Is that still available on Amazon?
Yes, and it is also available on my website if you want to download the PDF.
Okay. Um, who is this book for?
This is for anyone who's interested in learning how to take care of their own locks, learning how to start a lock business, or just want to get more of a foundation understanding for what is locks.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, so you don't have to be, I don't want people to say, okay, locks is just for Black people. Locks is not just for Black people. Anyone can learn how to do locks. If you are 17 or 18 years old, if you are a middle-aged man or woman, if you are looking to develop a new skill set, this is for you.
Um, so network, self-education, buy your book, be your apprentice if they're trying to get into come under your apprenticeship. What about for those who are watching this and they want to go on this journey? They want you to provide that service. How would they get in contact, or do you? I know you're in the process of having a new location. Do you have a location right now?
Yes, I do. I'm currently in Southfield.
Okay.
We will be relocating to the Detroit West Side area.
Mhm.
Details will be coming later. But if they are interested in getting services by me, starting their life journey, they can book their consultation at alottalocs.com. If you want to learn more about locks, I do have a Facebook group called More Than Just Locks. You can follow us there. If you want to see what I'm doing day to day at Alotta Locks, you can follow me on TikTok at Alotta Locks. I have videos on Instagram at Alotta Locks, and I also have my YouTube page at Alotta Locks. So a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
locks everywhere.
No, I put on the slide. I didn't know. I thought it was Kathy Online. Is that your? Are you still doing that, or you have a lot of locks on your YouTube channel?
So you can do either because the hashtag is there. They can search
Mm.
you for a lot of locks, or they can search Kathy online. So either way, you will find a lot of locks.
Okay, so folks who are watching this, if you interested in your own lock journey, uh, there's her social media handles. You can get to her website. What's your website? Is it alottalocs.com or
Yes,
alottalocs.com is the website? Maybe you're interested in going into the industry, developing your own natural hair brand. Now, this Facebook group, who is that for?
that is for people who are either transitioning from permed hair to natural hair, or
Mhm.
people who have locks.
Okay.
So it's open to everyone. If you have an interest in locks, it is for you.
Yeah. Okay. So they can request to join your private Facebook group,
Yes,
More Than Just Locks. And then they want to see your work, your body of work, Instagram at a lot of locks, TikTok, a lot of locks, and also a lot of locks on YouTube or Kathy Online. All
yes.
right. All right. Now, I think as we wrap up, I think you have an event. You have an event coming up this Sunday, right? Or coming up
Yes,
soon?
yes. I am doing my micro twist training, and this is a class to teach you how to cultivate micro twist, the micro twist technique, which
Mm.
is also known as two-strand twist. And it is available for registration. Seats are available. We have a few seats available. So if you're interested in registering for this class, you will get all of the tools and materials are included. It will be at the A Lot of Locks line in Southfield. All of the details, information is on the website at alottalocs.com.
Okay. All right. So this is an in-person class.
Yes,
Okay. At your Southfield location and includes the class and the tools for those who are
yes.
interested. Okay. Want to
Hmm.
recognize we have someone, a viewer. Is it? I want to make sure I pronounce the name right. Lottie Kelly. This was very informational. Thank you. So I don't know if this is somebody you know or just.
Yes, that's
Oh,
my
okay.
best friend.
All right. Shout out to your best friend. Thank you for uh, joining us on this podcast. Yeah, it's good information. Um, so you have the information. Any other announcements or anything that our audience should know about what you're doing? You were part of the Golden Sachs and retail boot camp. What was that like, and how did that help your business?
Wow. Um, Retail boot camp was a major help in me pivoting my business. I wanted to find more resources to help me become more sufficient in my business, and it helped tremendously with me understanding that I need to know my numbers. I need to know who my audience is and also how to pitch my business to the community so that I can grow my business. Goldman Sachs was a phenomenal venture. It was it's dedicated to Black women who are in the field of entrepreneurship. So it does not matter what type of business you have, as long as you are a business owner. Um, it's it's mind blowing. It was everything. Very very competitive program. So I was in a group of 148 or 49 women um, from the U.S. who came together virtually weekly, and we met in New York 2 times. So essentially, the program platform is to teach you how to grow and scale your business.
Okay, great, great. And what
Yes.
can we expect when you're location on the west side of Detroit? Is that on the Avenue of you have a location? I don't want to just speculate.
Yes, yes. So there is a location there. We will be relocating to the Grand River and Locs area on the west side of
Oh, okay.
Detroit.
That's my
Yes.
old neighborhood area. Was 7 Mile and Losser. We say Lasher over here,
Oh,
but you
well,
know,
I was trying to be
you can
correct.
say
I
Lasher.
didn't
No, that's cool.
Lasher.
Yeah, people from there say
So Grand River and Lasher area.
but
Um,
Losser is probably the proper way of saying it.
yeah. So
Okay.
with this location, I wanted to give my clients more because where
Mhm.
I'm currently am kind of like I'm not able to provide a vast amount of services, but
Okay.
at the new location, they'll be able to get
All
more of
right.
the intimate self-care setting. So they'll
Wow.
be able to get those nice, good shampoos and
Wow.
hair detoxes, hair steam treatments.
Wow.
We are going to push to do monthly activities with that. So, bringing the community together,
Yes.
supporting other local businesses in the area, and also bringing awareness to the community on natural hair care.
That's awesome because you'll be not too far from sweet potato sensation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can get your locks done and a sweet potato pie.
Yes, and
Sweet
get you
potato.
some nice coffee and tea from across the street at the
Yeah,
Motor
yeah.
City Java
Motor
Cafe.
City Java. Yeah. Shout out to all of them. Oh, that's
Yes.
great. This podcast is about celebrating the positive contributions of the local Detroiters and what they're doing in the area of community involvement and entrepreneurship. And this is an opportunity for us to give people such as you their flowers for all the work you're doing. A
Thank you.
successful Black-owned business in Detroit, helping people on their journey with natural hair care, self-care, self-love. I think locks are beautiful. So that's awesome. I'm still gonna keep my low cut fade. I guess I'm kind of traditional. So
And that's okay. You can
my
refer
hair is still
somebody.
yeah, I want to thank you for your time. I know you're a busy lady. Thank you for reaching out and being on this platform and whatever we can do to be of support. Just let us know. How can we be of support? Any other closing announcements or anything you want to share as we close out our interview for today?
Thank you, Charles. Just spread the word. A lot.
A lot. Okay, and I want to make sure people can don't forget to purchase that book on Amazon. Is it better
Yes.
to get the book from you or from Amazon, which or Prime, or does it matter?
Either or doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. And sign up for that class. What's that website again? They can sign up, or should they DM you, or just go to the website?
They can go to the website, alottalots.com. Scroll down and look in the box for classes, and there will be a link provided there that gives you more detailed information on the specifics of what the class is about, all of the tools and information that you will receive, and what you will be getting from the class.
Awesome, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, episode 95, Kathy H. English, CEO of Alotta Locs. So that's going to conclude our podcast for today. So thank you for those who joined us live, and those who are watching the replay. And if you find value in what we're doing, I encourage you to like and share with your friends, share with your family. Follow us on our YouTube page, YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and support. You can also you can make a donation to our platform through our YouTube channel if you like what we're doing, and also you can email us at hello@Detroit Metro Plug. If you yourself are a community leader, run a nonprofit, work at a nonprofit, or you're an entrepreneur and you would like to be featured on the Detroit Metro Plug podcast where connections matter, you can reach out to us. Thanks again. I will be putting out content, but not really scheduling a whole lot of interviews. We're approaching the holiday season. I'm preparing for next year. Actually, we're almost hitting 100 episodes. This is episode 95, and we're looking to do a big celebration next year. So again, thank you, and you guys have a good evening.